All right, everybody. We've got Dave Lettieri, the winner, the champion of the Myrtle Beach Classic down at Thistle Golf Club in Calabash, North Carolina. This guy put on an absolute show over the weekend. Dave, what's going on, man?
Not too much. How you doing, Greg?
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Dave, I'm telling you, it was one of the most impressive rounds of golf I think I've ever seen, considering the conditions. Before we get into that, talk about the golf, and we're going to get into like gear and all that stuff about your golf game. But let's talk about Dave Lettieri himself. Who's Dave Lettieri? Where are you from? And obviously, I think you're a dad to be coming up, correct?
Well, I am already a dad, but yeah, I have another one on the way.
Another one on the way. Okay,
Number 2.
congratulations.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
In
right.
September.
Dave, where are you from?
I grew up in New York, in the Hudson Valley, about 90 miles north of New York City.
Okay.
Go Knicks. We got a big game tonight.
Big game.
Yeah. Giants got a big draft since they always stink right now.
So. I know my Bears, number 1 and number 9, baby. Let's go.
Yep.
We are recording this on draft day, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. So also a huge Yankees fan.
That's right.
Took my Nationals Juan Soto from us.
We did. Yep.
Yeah.
Had a good night last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd you go to college, man?
Methodist University in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I did the PGM program there. I was a golf pro in a former life.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about how you got into golf, man. Let's talk about Dave as a young kid. How'd you get into this game, and how'd you get so daggone good?
Well, my dad played, and several of my uncles, a lot of people in my family were into it. So I got into it. As a young kid, I had like a junior set of clubs, but I didn't, when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I would hit balls in the backyard and stuff.
Right on.
And then when I was like 13 or 14, I started to get into it a little bit more. And my mom was actually running a charity golf tournament for the school I went to.
Right.
And she went to this golf course in town, and it ended up that she knew the guy who was the general manager there. They had gone to high school together, and they got talking about, their kids and stuff. They hadn't seen each other in a while. And she mentioned that I was getting into golf. And he said, oh, well, the head pro here is starting a junior caddy program, like within the next few weeks, if he's interested. And so me and a couple of my friends started doing that. And then when we started doing that, they said, you can join this club as a junior for $150 a year. So I talked my parents into that, which wasn't that tough. $150. I mean, one round of golf right now costs $150. But,
yeah.
So, after that, I just got hooked. I started playing every day. That's all I did pretty much through high school was play golf. That I played a lot in college too, and just stuck with it.
You have a pretty unique swing, man. It's beautiful. It's just smooth. It's in rhythm. Is that from different sports? Did you play baseball? I mean, where'd you get this golf swing? I mean, how did it actually naturally occur to you, man? I mean, it's just it's this beautiful swing.
I mean, I used to practice a lot. I don't practice much anymore, but from, like 1996 or 7, when I got into it until like 2007, I played a ton of golf for those big 10 years about. I worked at golf courses. I had access to golf for cheap or like free most of the time because I worked at golf courses. So,
right.
That's all. The only place you could ever find me for those 10 years was pretty much at a golf course. So,
gotcha.
A lot of repetition.
What's your swing philosophy? I mean, like, what's your swing thoughts to get you in the slot? And you have more of a vertical swing, kind of short, and then it's kind of like Scotty Scheffler, to be honest with you. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, except I don't do a tap dance when I hit the ball.
You don't do a tap dance.
I'd probably miss the ball if I tried to do that. But
you're very flat-footed. But what's your swing philosophy? Like, what's your thought when you hit that ball?
I cycle through a few swing thoughts. It's more of a feeling than a thought. And they change based on how I'm hitting the ball, and I find different things on the range or whatever. But my thought that I always have, I'm just trying to think about what I want contact to feel like. On most of my shots. So, before I swing, maybe rehearse a feeling or a thought or something with the practice swing. But then when I'm actually over the ball, I'm usually just trying to think about what I want contact to feel like.
So, like I said, you're more vertical, rather than shallow, but you do come in a little steep, but man, it's just like a perfect, like I don't know, it's just like this perfect rhythm, and it hits the ball in the center of their club face. Your drives are beautiful. Do you have a setup thought? Like, I mean, do you move ball positions on every club, or do you kind of do the Butch Harmon way, where he thinks that the ball position should be the same everywhere in your swing? What?
I move a little bit. Obviously, as I go down the bag, I get a little further back in my stance.
Right.
Um, and maybe from shot to shot based on the lie or what kind of shot if I'm trying to hit it low, move it back a little bit, stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
um, when I'm setting up, my big thing is that I tend to get far away from the ball. If I don't know why that happens. Just I tend to creep further away from it. So I'm always trying to make sure that I'm close enough to the ball. Otherwise, I start kind of reaching and coming from the inside and hitting a little bit of a hook with the driver.
Well, let's get into this weekend, or this past weekend when we were at Myrtle Beach. It was actually 2 weeks ago, but we're going to get into the scores that occurred there.
Okay.
And you won. Surprise, surprise.
Win.
I mean, it was a great round of golf, man. I mean, I think you were 3 under the first day, and then 3 under the second day. You played with Tony.
Yeah,
Selena.
I was 4 under and 2 under.
Oh, 4 under 2. Okay.
Yeah, but it was the first day was par 71, second day was par 72. That's why.
Right. It's
with the 3 nines we played.
Yeah, 3 nines, right? Yeah. McKay, Cameron, and I can't remember the other one.
Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was truly a test of golf. If you've ever been to Thistle Golf Club, you understand it's a Scottish layout, beautiful course. I mean, the greens were immaculate,
yep.
Lightning fast, but good. it was good. It was a lot of fun. But Dave, the conditions were not great. I mean, on Thursday we got blown out. We couldn't even play golf. It was 40-mile-an-hour winds. We got this massive coastal low that came in. Friday we played what's called the Baca Cup, where we all play teams. That was basically in a wind tunnel, and then Saturday kind of carried forth some of the wind. But man, I mean, you just kept your head down and lapsed the field on day one. What was your thoughts going into day one? What was your game plan going into that?
Honestly, I was thinking just break 80 gross, and then net I'm sitting mid to low 70s, and I'll have a chance on Sunday. And I was actually 2 over after 3 holes on Saturday. And I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. I just got to break 80. Just don't make any big numbers, make enough pars, throw in a birdie here and there, and you could do it. And after the 3rd hole, I just settled in and I just kept hitting fairways and greens. And I had 1 bogey after that and 3 birdies. So I kept myself at even par gross.
Yeah, it was a fantastic round, man. And then Tony Selena, we regrouped based on the leaderboard, and Tony Selena was in your group. You had a chance to see what he did, and man, he had a comeback. What's it like knowing that you're getting chased and try to keep your head down, man? When you're getting chased like that by a great golfer, Tony, what was your thoughts? I mean, were you was that at match play at that point, or did you just try to think about stroke play all the way through?
It didn't start out as match play on Sunday because there were several guys that had a shot. Obviously, I knew Tony was going to probably, if anybody was going to kind of chase me down, he had the best chance because, he's one of the better golfers, and he had, I was giving him a few shots on the handicap, and he started out the closest too. So obviously he's got the best chance. But I double bogeyed the first hole on Sunday. I hit it in the water up by the green because I had a rough lie. I was on those slopes on the right-hand side. And I aimed as far right as I could without aiming into the hazard on the right because I figured I'm going to aim at the hazard and hit it dead straight off this lie, and then it's not going to make any sense to do that. In retrospect, I should have probably laid up, but I'm too stubborn to do that. So I aimed at that bunker on the right, and I just had such a side hill lie. I was hitting 5-iron in there. I didn't hit a great drive off the tee, and I just hit a huge hook out into the lake.
So let's talk about that. I mean, you sleep on the lead. What's it like to sleep on a lead in major, man?
It was all right. I mean, I wasn't too worried about it. I mean, I've done it before. When I won in 2022 at the Tour Championship, I don't remember. I think I might have been 1 back or maybe tied for the lead. I forget, but I don't know. When you're in Myrtle Beach, I mean, you're hanging out with the guys and stuff, so it's a little different when you go home. That in 2022, I was at home, and I think my wife might have been out of town, so I was home by myself, and I was like, that's all I was thinking about. Down in Myrtle Beach, there's other stuff going on.
A lot of distractions.
Yeah,
a lot of distractions.
I forget what we did on Saturday night. I think we went out to dinner, went to that Mexican place. So
yeah,
we didn't even get back until like 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was. And so
Right.
hung out for an hour or two and then went to bed. So it wasn't too much time to worry about it anyway. And then we played early on Sunday. So, I mean, it was an
Right.
easy morning. So I didn't have to sit around very much and think about what was going to happen.
So let's take it Sunday morning, man. You get up, we're going to the course. Right. It's an early tee time. Give me your thoughts on the range. How'd you hit them on the range? What's your routine? Do you change anything? I mean, what's Dave do Sunday morning?
My routine is basically just get stretched out and then well, actually I putted first, which I didn't putt that much because we just played on Saturday
Right.
afternoon, and the greens seemed like they were, the putting green seemed very similar to what we'd had. So
It was.
I just wanted to get a little bit of a feel for the greens again, and I didn't want to putt too much because I didn't want to. I felt good on the greens on Saturday, so I just wanted to keep that feel. I didn't want to interrupt anything with the putting, which worked out because I had Sunday maybe the best putting day I've ever had on a golf course that I can remember. So that worked out well. And then going to the range, just get stretched out. I don't like to hit too many balls before I play. I'm really just there to get loosened up. If I have to figure out anything with my swing, it's might as well just go to the first tee because I'm probably just going to make it worse. But,
Is that advice that you can give to average golfers? Is, man, don't wear yourself out in the range, man.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I know some people that play with us, they'll stand out there for 2 hours before we play. Which
I'm guilty.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do that. That just wears me out. And if I'm hitting it good, I worry that I'm going to use up all my good swings. Which
that's true.
I mean, that's superstitious a little bit, but
right.
I do worry about that. And then if I'm hitting it bad, I just feel like I'm grooving a bad swing. So, I'm probably not going to change it over the course of a half an hour if I'm hitting it that bad. So, probably making me maybe make it worse. So, I just try to get loosened up and see what my swing is doing that day, see what my miss is going to be, see if I can tweak it maybe just a little bit, but mainly just get loosened up and head to the first tee.
So you get on the first tee jitters?
A little bit. I mean, we're competitive, but we play with the same guys all the time. So it's like playing with your friends. So there's a little bit of nerves, but it's not like, going out and playing in some big qualifier for something where you don't know the people you're playing with and all that. True. That's a little different. But yeah, there's definitely some nerves because you want to win.
Double bogey the first hole. What's your mindset there? I'm sure Tony. I think Tony parted, right? First hole.
I think everybody else made bogey, so I only lost one stroke gross to the guys I was playing with, and I figured. I mean, there's other people within range, but I figured somebody in our group was probably going to win. I think outside of our group, I think the closest person was like 6 strokes back, maybe.
You played with Tony, Steven, and CJ, right?
Not CJ. It was Tony, Steven, and who else played with us?
JJ?
Oh no, Jeff Schreiber.
Okay, Jeff. Gotcha. So yeah, that's a good group.
It was a good group. It was really
good level-headed guys. But then Tony, again, Tony comes in, and Steven was playing actually pretty well too.
He played well too. Yep,
very, very well.
Yep.
Jeff had a pretty rough Sunday, I saw, but like we all do, we all have these terrible rounds. But so Tony starts inching up. Man, what's your thoughts? You get in on the second hole. I mean, obviously you have 17 more golf holes to play.
Yeah.
Are you starting to feel the pressure a little bit now, or did that kind of wake you up and say, what, get your shit together and let's just move on?
I wasn't too worried about it because it wasn't like I hit the shot in the water, but it wasn't really a bad shot. I mean, it was because of the lie. It was too side hill of a lie to hit a straight shot, and the water. There's just too much water up there. Like I said, I should not gone for the green in retrospect, but I thought I could pull the shot off, and stand there hit it 10 times. I probably hit 7 in the water. So it was a dumb thing to do, probably in retrospect.
It's a learning experience, man. We all try to play hero for sure. This golf pro, we see this guy, pull it off on the PGA Tour. I can do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, the problem was that it wasn't a distance issue. It wasn't. It was only 180, 75 or 80 yard shot. So it was like I could reach, and the ball went in the water pin high, which doesn't really matter, but it was in the water either way.
The water, yeah.
So I thought I could kind of keep it straight enough, but obviously I didn't. But that's all right.
So, what point in the round did you feel that you got that double bogey behind you? Like, when did it all started putting together? Like you said, you had the best putting round in your career on Sunday. When did that occur? And like, what does that momentum feel like carrying you through the round?
Well, on the second hole, which is, fairly short par four, I had a driver and I had, I think, about 90 yards in, and Tony was, we were playing basically cart golf on that hole. And Tony had like maybe a 20 footer for birdie, and he made it. And I had like maybe a 15 footer, and I made it right on top of him.
Oh,
So that settled me down right away. I was like, okay, now I got the lids off the jar. We got a birdie on the card already. Um, you know, if I had missed that putt and now he's gained 2 shots on me in 2 holes, I think I would have started to get pretty worried. But I
sure.
think that birdie right there settled me down. And then we went to the next hole, which was a par three,
Yep.
and
Water on the right.
I was just kind of no, not that one. The kind of, it's over the bunker, kind of.
Well, I hit it in the water on the right. Let me just say that there's
No,
a
no,
creek on the right hand side.
no, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, you didn't see it. I saw.
No, I thought you were talking about Stewart with all the water on the right.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
no.
also the third hole.
Yeah. This was it's Cameron, right? I think we
Yeah,
played
yeah.
Cameron off. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
made it a miraculous up and down for bogey.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, I hit it a little short. I was kind of on the fringe, and Tony was on the green, but he had like the pin was all the way in the back on the left, and he was on the front right of the green, so he had a long putt. And I hit a terrible chip. I mean, I left myself like 20 feet or something, and it's the type of chip you should get within at least 10 feet, like
right.
9 times out of 10. Um, And Tony hit a decent putt. He had like 6 feet, which he's like 60 or 70 feet away. So 6 feet's not bad. And I actually made my putt for par. So I was like, all right, you know, probably going to tie the hole. But then he missed
Okay,
his
so
putt.
now birdie that made 2 back-to-back long putts.
This was a much better putt. The one I made on two was a pretty straightforward straight putt. This had some break in it. So I was all right. I'm putting good. I saved par. I probably shouldn't have saved there after that chip. But then Tony missed his 6 footer, so he made bogey. So then we're back to basically square
Square.
gross.
Yep, how it started.
And I
Yep.
don't remember I don't think he got a stroke on any of the first 3 holes. So we're square gross, and I was giving him 3 because he was playing as a 7. I was playing as a 4. So
Right, and I believe the next hole is a short par 5, right?
uh,
With the tree in the middle?
no, that's on the other 9, I think.
Okay,
I think
that's
the
on the
next
other
hole is that kind of dogleg par 4 with the water on the right.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right. Yes,
yeah.
you're right. Yep.
And so and then that's when the momentum started to shift a little bit. Tony hit not a great drive, but he was in fine shape. He didn't hit a great drive, but he was in fine shape. He was down
Mhm.
by the water. He was worried that it was going to go in the water when it's in the air, but he stayed safe, and he hit his on the green. I had like 140 yards. I was kind of with the wind. I was between a 9 iron and an 8 iron, and I tried to squeeze the 9 iron up there, and I came up a little short left. And I hit a decent chip. It was a little bit, the green was running away from me. I hit a decent chip. I had like 7 feet for par maybe. And Tony had a 30 footer for birdie, and he left his like 6 or 7 feet short because he was kind of coming up the hill and then going down. I think he was worried that he's going to run it up the hill a little too fast and he's going to get away from going down the other side.
Yep.
And I drained mine for par, and then he missed his. So then I'm one up gross on him. So then I started to feel like, okay, the momentum swinging back in my favor. I wasn't worried about the double anymore because now I'm only 1 over through 4. So I'm kind of
Right.
keeping pace with my handicap and, starting to get in a groove and feeling like I can, keep things together. So I think that like those 3 holes really
Well,
helped.
I mean, that's right off the bat. I mean, that's right after the double bogey, man. You go birdie, par, par in pretty
Yep.
impressive fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and watch other people around you just kind of struggle. I mean, and then you're in the driver's seat at that point, right? You just lock and load and just play your golf, right?
Yep.
Not worry about what they're doing, right?
Yeah, I thought if I could, keep it close in the beginning, like I didn't want it to get away from me right away because then I'm playing chase up or catch up. But
Correct.
I wanted to make him feel like he was playing catch up, on the back 9, and I felt like I was heading towards that once we're 4 or 5 holes into the round.
So, do you play better when you're the chasee, or do you or the chaser?
I don't know. I don't know that it really matters for me that much. I mean, for so long we played without knowing where you were,
Yeah,
because we didn't have, now we have the app, so we kind of
right.
know how you're doing. But if I'm playing really well, I don't really want to look because, like, you get the 2 or 3 under, you kind of feel like you're in the mix. I always
Right.
know where I am in relation to par. I don't always know where I am on the leaderboard.
Right.
But, if I'm playing like if I'm 2 or 3 under, like, around the turn, I might glance at it to see how I'm doing, but, uh, I if I'm 2 or 3 under, I'm playing pretty good and I'm in a pretty good groove, so I don't wanna, like, really change anything and just keep playing my game. Then I'll look like, 14 or 15 because, if you're 2
You wanna
back
know, like,
if you're
what you have to do, right?
right, if you're 2 back, like, okay, you gotta go make a birdie somewhere, but
Right.
if you're 2 up, then maybe
Do
you're
you think that makes a difference though when these scoreboard watchers go out there? I mean, I have a habit of, like, kind of looking at the app and, like every 3 holes and see what I have to do. And then I try to force things and then I wind up hooking it and slicing it and just being stupid, making these miraculous shots because I know I have to make up so many shots. I mean, do you think that's a detriment or do you think you should just keep your head down, play your game, and whatever happens, happens?
Of To some extent, I mean, like I said, if you're on the last few holes, if you know you're in it, you kinda wanna know what you have to do, especially if there's, like, a risk reward hole or something. Obviously, if you're on 18 and you're 1 down, you're not gonna lay up if you can go for the green. I mean,
Right.
especially if the person you're chasing is done, like, you gotta make birdie, so that's what you try to do, but
Right.
or on the other hand, if you're 2 up, you don't go for the green because you wanna make par, so, that in that situation, I definitely think you should look, but I think people just, especially with the level of golf that we're at, I mean, somebody could be 3 or 4 shots up and make a triple. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not happening on, like, high level, like, tour, like, high level amateur golf, guys just keep making pars and birdies. But with us, I mean, the leaderboard shuffling all day long. So,
And it did. I
yeah,
mean,
I
it
mean,
shuffled everywhere. I mean, let's get to like 16, 17, and 18.
okay.
Pretty 16's not too bad. 17 par 3, water on the right, and then 18, I mean it can get you. It can get you quick.
Yeah.
OB left, not OB, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you might as well call it OB because it's impossible to find a ball off
Yeah,
the left.
I lost one there on Friday. Luckily, it was the modified alternate shot, so it didn't
Well, there
matter.
you go.
Yeah.
But let's take it to 16, short par 4. There's a creek that is in front of the green. It's pretty much it's not a driver hole for hardly anybody. But
Yeah.
talk about 16. How do you and Tony? Because Tony made a run at the
He
end of the
did.
round,
Yeah.
and at that point, I don't know if it happened beforehand, but it seems like 16, 17, 18. When I was looking at the leaderboard, man, it was going to be one heck of a finish. Talk about the finish here.
Yeah, 16, we both hit it in the fairway. I think Tony hit an iron off the tee. I hit my 3 hybrid. So he was a little behind me. So he hit first into the green. And if I remember correctly, I think he hit it. He had a pretty good look at birdie on 16. I'm pretty sure he was like maybe 15 feet. Again, I was in between clubs because of the wind. I tried to force, I think I hit a pitching wedge. I had like 120. It was into the wind
Hmm.
and it was like swirling. So I was trying to decide, like, should I try to hit an easy 9? Then I would decide that, then the wind would kind of switch, and I stood there for a minute trying to figure out what to do. But I knew that long was no good where that pin was. You're
Yeah,
short-sighted and greens running away from you. If you had a really bad chip, you're down. It's the two-tiered green. So I mean, if
yeah,
it gets away from you, you can really mess it up. So I hit wedge and I pulled it a little bit, and I came up. I was on the top tier, but I was in the just off the fringe, kind of on the left. So it was a pretty easy
pin
chip.
high.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really easy chip, if you're not playing for anything. But I think I was 1 up at that point. Yeah, I was
Yep,
1 up at that. No, I was 2 up at that point. But he was getting a stroke on 18, and I wasn't. So
correct.
I was net 1 up, even though I was 2 up gross. So I mean, I knew I probably had to get that up and down because he was putting for birdie. I thought he was going to make it. He actually ended up missing it. So we both parred the hole. But I mean, I chipped up to like 2 feet. So when he putted, he knew pretty much knew I had par. So he knew he had to make his to stay in it. Well, I mean, he was still in it, but he made it a lot tougher on himself by not making that putt.
Hmm.
Actually, if he had made it, we would have tied, as it turns out. But
Wow.
so that was that hole. And then 17, we both hit it short left, I think. Yeah, short left.
Wind was blowing in our face at that time.
in our face.
Yeah.
I think I hit 5 iron on that hole, which is crazy because I hit on that hole on Saturday. No, we didn't. Did we play that? Yeah, we played that hole on Saturday. I hit a 3 hybrid on that hole on Saturday,
Wow.
and I was pin high. I hit 5 iron on Sunday,
Yep.
and
That
then
wind was
on
crazy Saturday. Yeah.
to tell you how the wind was affecting the course and how it was playing on Friday in the Baca Cup on number 3 on Stewart, which is the hole we were talking about before with all the
Yes.
water on the right.
Yep.
It was playing where the pin was like 155 or maybe 160. It was slightly into the wind, and I hit 7 iron. On Saturday, it was playing like 165, and I hit 3 hybrid, and I wasn't
Wow.
paying. Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
I didn't like. I kind of 3/4 my 3 hybrid because I just wanted to make sure I got it up there
Got it
somewhere.
there. Yeah.
I didn't care if I was a little long, but
Maybe that's my problem because I try to hit 6 iron and it didn't come anywhere close.
yeah, no, I mean it was the wind was whipping when we were there, and I was like, I'm just not gonna. I mean, I thought about hitting 4 iron, but honestly, if I don't hit my 4 iron well, I put a lot of side spin on it. And wind was blowing into us and to the right towards the
Into
water.
the right, and the water
So I
right.
figured if I don't hit this perfect, the wind is pushing this into the water. So I
Yep.
just hit my 3 hybrid. I aimed a little left of the green, 3/4 it. I hit that thing pretty high, so I knew I was going to put it up in the wind, and it just totally killed it. It took 50 yards off the shot,
Jesus.
and it just kind of floated down to the right with the wind. I was in the middle of the green, and actually, I don't know, probably heard. I was in the first group, so I knew I was closest to the pin in our group, so I was closest to the pin, and I measured it, and I was like 35 feet, and JJ was like maybe 42 feet, and he drained his for birdie. And Russ said, "Well, there's a skin," and I almost said, "Not so fast, Russ," and then I made it right on top of him. But JJ's was a much better putt because he was coming across the slope. I was coming pretty much right up it. So mine was a straight putt. His was
Yeah,
his had a
JJ played well over the weekend too. I mean,
Yeah.
he was solid. Yeah, I mean, finished tied for 5th in the
Yep.
money.
Yeah, and he had a terrible first 9. He was like saying, "Oh, I'm done. I'm out of it." But then he had a great back 9 on Saturday, and then I guess I didn't play with him on Sunday, but he must have played pretty well on Sunday too.
Yeah, he absolutely did. So 17, both of you guys parted, right? I think both of you guys
Yeah,
wound
we
up
did.
parting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tony hit first because he was a little further away. He had a great chip. He had like I don't know. He had a tap in for par. I hit not a terrible chip, but it wasn't definitely not my best. I had like 12 feet. I hit it 12 feet past. I hit a little thin. It just rolled out on me. And I knew like I was 1 up net at that point. So this is important putt. And like I said, I have not putted. I can't remember the last time I putted that well over 2 days. Maybe never. And I made the putt right in the middle. I mean, and at that point I was like, all right, I've got a stroke up on him on a par 5. I'm not going to have to hit driver because even if you hit driver on that hole, it's I probably
It's a 3-shot hole.
with downwind I could probably get there, but the way the wind was that day, it wasn't a 2-shot hole no matter even if I hit my best drive. So I
Yep.
actually hit 3 hybrid off the tee because I knew because it's an easy. There's no trouble on the layup really unless you go. I mean, there is some trouble. You got to go if you go way right, you're in the water. Way left, you're in the woods. But it's
So
pretty,
that's a great point. That's beautiful course management. Knowing the fact it's a 3-shot hole, a lot of guys still going to hit driver.
Mhm.
And
Well, the thing is though, it's a 2-shot hole for Tony. It's a little bit further than I do. A
right.
decent amount further than I do if he wants to. So I knew he was. I mean, if he hit 2 good shots, he's at least going to have maybe a chip for eagle. Which if he makes eagle and I make par, he wins. And I know he's a very good player, so I know that's not out of the question, but the odds are definitely not in favor. So I figure if he even makes an easy birdie, which is what he eventually did, all I had to do is make par. And after
which is no easy task because the way that pin placement was and that hole location.
Yeah,
if
it
you
was
go anywhere past that hole, it's going down the hill and it's
yeah,
gone.
it was a little bit of a tough location.
Yeah.
But I mean, the hardest shot on that hole is the tee shot. So
yes,
I figure just get it in play, and it's a par 5. So even if you have to, for some reason, if I'm in the bunker and I up against a lip or something, I could still hit the next shot 50 yards and still have like okay, then I'm in range to get there basically in 2 after a chip out because it's short enough where even though I can't reach it, I can get within 50 yards on 2 shots, which I wasn't going to do because the longer the club, obviously, the more chance you have to go a little awry on that second shot. So I just hit 3 hybrid off the tee, and I had been hitting that. I actually got that club over the winter, and I've been hitting it like I don't think I've missed a shot yet this year. Knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself.
Hopefully just jinx yourself.
I mean, I've been hitting it like it's. I told Steve when we were playing the Baca Cup a couple times that this club is like cheating. And I have it's a Ping G425, I think.
Oh yeah,
and I got the 2 hybrid, 2 like in the fall of 2022, and I mean that thing was easy to hit. I've hit it great. It's been a great club, and I had a Titleist TMB 3 iron in my bag that I never hit because it's like I don't have that yardage very often, and it's just if I do have that yardage, it's hitting into like a par 5 and 2 or something, and it's like there's all kinds of trouble because that's the way the hole's designed. So I don't want to hit the club because I don't have any confidence with it. So I got the 3 hybrid, and it's like it's ridiculous. I wasn't going to do it because it's like it's only a 2 degrees loft difference. So I was like, I don't know, is it waste of money? It's like $300 for this thing. Is it really going to make that big of a difference? But it's amazing. I don't. The head's designed a little different than the 2, so I guess that's why. But I hit it much higher, and I don't know. It's like I said, it's like cheating. Like
investment paid off.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's funny. I won the first tournament I played with the 2 was the Tour Championship that I won in 2022.
Man.
And the first tournament that I played with the 3 was the Myrtle Beach one in 2024. So
Money.
yeah, that I don't know. They're about $500 total together. Has paid off in about I don't know $35 in returns. Yeah,
yeah, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So Tony hits it out in the fairway. You're out there.
Yeah, we were both in the fairway.
You're way behind. Your second shot obviously is pretty good.
Yeah, I laid up to like I think 115, 120. I think I hit 5 iron. I was in the left rough, but it was fine. It was exactly what I wanted to do.
Talk about Tony's shot and what's your thoughts on when he goes out. Obviously he has to go for the green.
Yeah, well, I mean we were riding together, and I think he had about 215 maybe.
Okay.
220 maybe.
That's a heck of a drive.
And I know. Yeah, he smoked it. And he doesn't have he has a 3. I think he has a 3 wood and then a 3 iron. So he's got nothing in between. And he was kind of talking to himself saying, "Oh, if I should hit it long because there's that flower bed back there that you get free relief from."
It's OB.
It is OB, but I don't know if he could have reached the OB. That's like another 30 yards maybe. But I mean, I guess it's possible, but he would have. He's a good enough player that he's not going to. He knows what his yardages are. He's not going to hit it 30 yards long, especially into the wind. That's just like, I mean, he had really swing out of his shoes, and he could have came up long, but he wasn't going. I don't think he was going to go. He maybe OB left, but not long. I don't think.
Right.
Anyway, so he was kind of talking to himself. I can go long, whatever. But then he pulled out the 3 iron, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And he hit the 3 iron, and he hit it. I mean, I don't think he could hit it much better. He hit exact shot he was looking to hit. He hit a low kind of cut shot. So he didn't challenge the bunker. He kind of sort of left side of the green and tried to cut it in there, and he hit the perfect shot. But I think he knew when he hit it that he didn't have enough club. But I guess he thought that it was an easier chip from the front of the green, which maybe it was where that pin was. But he came back to the cart. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable trying to like knock down a 3 wood. Who knows where I'm going to hit that? But if I swing all out at the 3 iron, at least I know I'm going to be in the vicinity of the green. I'm probably not going to, I'm not going to hit a big hook or slice like I might with the 3 wood because I'm kind of trying to manufacture a swing to hit at the right yardage, which I thought.
And adrenaline's pumping. He's jacked up. He knows
exactly.
Yeah, I mean all that factors in.
So I mean, after he explained why he did it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I was a little surprised I didn't hit the 3 wood, and I mean. Obviously, your best chance is to get a putt at it and try to make the putt. But where he left himself about as easy as a chip as you can on that green where the pin was. So it made sense. So then I hit my wedge, and I was pin high just to the right on the fringe, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 feet. And he was chipping from the front of the green. So basically, if I got it down in 2, the best he could do was tie if he chipped in. And he And his chip was rolling towards the cup. I was a little worried. It was a good chip. I couldn't tell if it was exactly on line because of the angle I was at. I was kind of off to the side. So I mean, I knew it was a good chip. I didn't know quite how good it was, but
Right.
it looked like it had a chance for a little while. But he hit it like, I don't know, 4 feet past, and it only missed going by maybe a couple inches. But yeah, so
at that point, you have it in the bag, right? I mean,
well, this is when I mean, I was obviously the odds are severely in my favor, but then it's like, all right, I just got a 2-putt. That almost gets harder because it's like, oh great, don't hit it 6 feet by. Then you say that and you hit it 6 feet short or something.
yes.
You're like, okay, now I got to make a 6-footer. But luckily, I hit it wasn't the greatest putt ever, but it was good enough. And actually, I hit mine right on his line, like 6 inches inside of his ball mark, where he was putting, to make me make mine. So he was not happy about that because he was giving me the line on my putt, which I mean, it was a 3-footer.
It was by design, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I was trying to get a lot closer than that. I would have liked to been. It was a little bit more work than I really needed to leave myself on that putt, but it was fine. Yeah, so he made his, and he said it's not as straight as it looks. Which it was a straight putt right up the hill. So and then it's a little bit more than a tap in, but I made it. So
yeah, well, nice, man. Dave Lettieri, man, the champion of the Myrtle Beach Classic. Awesome 2 rounds of golf in very tough conditions. And like I said, I mean, some of those pin placements and, the wind and everything else that factored in, some quick greens, quicker than I thought they were going to be. But
yeah, they were fantastic. They were consistent and they were smooth, and they were pretty fast too. It was good 3 days there at Thistle.
Yeah. It was a heck of a show, man. Let's talk about real quick before we get off. Let's talk about what's in the bag for Dave Lettieri, man. We already talked about some of your pings, some Titleist irons, but what's in the bag from driver down?
Okay. I'm really not much of a gearhead, so I'm not even sure I'm going to remember all my stuff. But I have a Titleist driver. It's honestly, I don't even remember
Is it
what
the TSR 3?
I think so. It's the 2018 model.
All right, TSR, yeah, model.
Yeah, it's a 10.5 degree, I think.
Okay.
Hazardous smoke black. I think
Shaft.
6.5.
Yeah.
I think I think Titleist is coming out with a new driver. I'm pretty much a Titleist guy almost through the bag, except for those ping hybrids that I talked about. If they come out with a new driver this year, I'll probably go get fit and get a new one because it's 5 years old now. So
yeah, I'm surprised that you're playing a driver that old.
Yeah, I mean, they're so expensive now, and
that's true.
For a couple more yards, I'm not going to spend $600 every 2 years.
Yeah,
but I mean, after 5 years, it's like, okay, it's time to get something new, probably. If for no other reason, just because it's fun to get a new club. But
right,
I don't know that it'll actually make any difference. And
I'll be honest with you, I was talking to JJ about this. I truly think like some of the older equipment is better than this new stuff that's coming out. I mean, it's just more consistent. It's the distance hasn't changed too much. Of course, it's a marketing ploy to get you to go buy new clubs. But
I've always been someone that finds a set that I like, or a set of irons or a driver or whatever, and just get used to it so that it's your club. You know how it feels. You know how the shots are going to react, and stick with it until you really need to change. I've been playing golf for almost 30 years, and I'm on my 3rd set of irons.
Wow.
So yeah.
Speaking of irons, what kind of irons do you have?
The AP2, the 18s, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, they're the 18s. I've been playing those since 2018, obviously. And the last set of clubs I got before that set of irons was a 2006, whatever came out for Titleist in 2006. I don't even remember, 695s maybe. And then before that was my first set of I had like a knockoff set of Callaway whatever things when I started, but my first set of real irons was the DCI 990s. I think I got those in 1997. I probably played well over 1,000 rounds of golf with those over the next however many years.
So the middle of those clubs are worn out pretty good.
Yeah, they're at my parents' house. Those are my favorite irons by far that I've ever hit. I mean, and I've, because I used to work at golf courses, I was always hitting the demos and all that stuff.
Right.
For like, whatever demo sets we had for all the companies. And I've never found it. I've never hit an iron that felt as good as those DCI 990s. I think they're
I
probably
told you the older clubs are better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also, I don't know if I could hit them now. They're not very forgiving. They're a little more bladey than like the AP2s.
Right.
But I mean, I played a lot more back then, so I was a little more consistent. But
yeah,
those were good irons. I wish Titleist made something like that. I don't think they really.
And what is the magical putter that did you well during the championship?
The Scotty Cameron Special Select. I don't even know. It's the blade putter, but like the little bit wider version.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I got that during COVID. I used to have a 2-ball that I used.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't even get fit for that putter. I just went into golfed them in Tyson's and hit a bunch of putters. I get this one feels good.
All of them drained in, right?
I like having a Scotty Cameron. And
yeah.
Of course, they all. I mean, you go into those golf stores and like they must like make it so that the whole like everything breaks towards the hole because you don't miss.
There's magnets in the ball and there's magnets on the bottom of the cup, and you make everything at the golf store, and then when you get on the course, it's not even close.
Yeah, well, it did take it actually when I first got it, I was like, I don't know about this because I would just, it's such a different putter than the 2-ball, which I had been using for years, and it just didn't. It was a little bit of a transition period. I couldn't get the speed with it because it just didn't feel the same, obviously. But after a few rounds, I can. It fits my eye a lot better as far as feeling confident that I'm aimed at the right spot. And yeah, it's a good putter. I like it.
Nice. Well, Dave, thanks for your time, man. Congratulations again, man. Dave Lettieri, your 2024 Myrtle Beach Classic champion. What a heck of a round. Even under pressure, obviously with the heat that Tony gave you, you still kept your head down and did your job, man. It was an awesome thing to see. Good guy, great swing. I mean, just pure. And man, what a few 2 rounds of golf you played.
Yeah,
there, man.
On Saturday I tied my best TGA round. I shot my best gross TGA round. 2022 I shot 71, which is par at Maryland National.
Wow.
And then I shot 71 on Saturday, which was par for the 2 9s we played.
That's just target golf, man, because those are that's a tough golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just pure target golf.
I actually think it made it a little bit easier with how difficult the conditions were because I didn't figure. I mean, I didn't think I was going to shoot that low, but I didn't figure anybody else was going to either. So it was like a lot of times, especially as one of the lower handicaps, like I can consistently shoot around par. When I'm playing well, I'll shoot a lot of rounds like right around 1 under, even 1 over. But it's hard if somebody shoots 5 or 6 under. One of the higher handicaps has a good day, like 16 shoots 10 over, which happens sometimes. It's hard for us lower handicaps to keep up with that because
you can't.
We just have. I know handicaps are like they measure your potential, but like a lower handicap shoots more rounds like in a, like as a 4, I shoot a lot of rounds between 75 and 82.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard for me to go real low, but the higher handicaps, their scores are in a much bigger range. So they shoot as a 16, you might shoot, 82 or 102. So it's like, if they have a good day,
or if you're Dave Renner, you shoot a 65 on a municipal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That was gross though, so that's pretty good. We should see if we can get that put into his TGA scoring history.
I think you should. Yeah, I think you should. I think you should take all of his Grint handicap scores and throw it right into the TGA.
Well, I don't think anybody. I would love to do that because my gin handicap is only 1 shot lower than my TGA handicap. So there's a lot of guys who are. And I understand there's a lot more scores in a lot of people's gin handicaps, so it's going to be different. But there's a lot of guys who have much higher TGA handicaps than they do gins.
Yeah. Also want to give a shout out to the guys who put together, man. Todd Ackerman did a fantastic job with the house and the course, and Steve Moses and all the stuff behind the work. I know you're part of the crew there and does a lot of great things behind the scenes, man.
Yeah, those guys do most of the work, though.
Yeah, Don Jones, all that good stuff, man. Yeah. So it's fun. It's a fun group of guys. Come out and shoot with us, TGAAtour.com. Yep. It's in Mid-Atlantic. It's a great time, man. So next one is Mattaponi, May 4th. Can't wait.
Next Saturday.
One of my favorite courses.
Yeah, it's great. We haven't played there in a long time. Like I've played there, but we haven't had a tournament there in like maybe 6 years, I think.
Yeah,
We
it's
kept trying
enjoyable.
to play there like too early in the year, and
Yeah,
so it's a
no,
Bermuda course, so like playing early in the year was, and I
tough.
mean it's still kind of early in the year, but we were playing there like in late March, early April, which is not
Yeah, that's no good.
ideal.
Yeah,
But it's a
but
fantastic layout.
it is. It's a
It's a
great
fun
layout,
course.
a lot of fun, very challenging. I mean, especially when that wind blows, just like, I mean, just it gets tight sometimes, but
The
it's
elevation
fun.
change,
Yeah.
it can be, I don't remember what tees we're playing, but it can be a tough course if the wind is swirling, that's for
I
sure.
hope we play blues or blacks. Let's go.
Or whatever's like, I mean, we'll probably whatever's closer to 63 to 6,500 yards.
Right.
I mean, it usually ends up being the second set of tees that we
Yeah,
play.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a couple of them that are long, man. I mean, there's a par 3 on the back 9.
Yeah, that par 3 is
That's
terrible.
225
Yeah.
from the blues, and it's elevated green, so it's all carry.
Yeah.
All carry. Yeah.
And you don't want to go left either. I mean, that's
No, you
a
left is dead.
re-tee on a par 3 is not a fun experience.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, Dave, we'll see you out there, man.
All right.
Thank you for coming on, bro. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. Yep, it's
All right,
fun.
man.
All right,
Take
see you
care.
later. Yep.
Bye.